back to the Roundtable. I'm your host, Steven, and today I'll be talking about the latest album from The Cult, Under the Midnight Sun. This is, I believe, their 11th studio album, their first since 2016, Hidden City. As you can see, there's no mention really anywhere of The Cult, unless you turn it on its side. There was a sticker on the bag that said The Cult, so if you walk by the store and you see this, probably wouldn't know what it is unless you really paid attention. So it's a very odd choice, first of all, of how they did this album. I mean, it's an interesting artwork, but I guess they want to say focus on the music, not the band, which is fair. What can you say? The Cult have been, you can't really pigeonhole these guys. They're either post-punk goth rock or arena rock band. And they're broken up into two camps for the longest time. And depending on where you started, I got really into them. I know a lot of people first got into them with that song, "She Sells Sanctuary." I like that song. I was never a diehard fan of it. It's catchy, don't get me wrong, but I like the next album, Electric, which was basically like an AC/DC album, and it came out of nowhere and blew my mind. And I love their rock aspect of their career, and I love that. Sonic Temple, would have to be favorites. And this one, I think it kind of goes back to that roots, well, the beginnings of their goth rock period, in a sense that there's a little bit of that. There's that psychedelic guitar in it, but it's still The Cult sonically. I mean, there's guitars, there's drums, there's bass. Maybe not as hard rocking as some of their previous albums. This is more of Ian Astbury's poetic side merging with Billy Duffy's guitar bravado and his poetry, and he's providing the backdrop. And they're kind of really merging their rock with their goth rock beginnings. And this is probably the most merging of the two since their beginning. So it depends on what you like about The Cult. If you were a big fan of Electric and Sonic Temple and thought they were rock gods, this may take it took me a few listens, but I am warming up to it. I really like the title track. The title track has a bit of a Western feel. I can picture it being part of a Western, but also there's strings that could fit in a James Bond movie. It's very cinematic, but very low key. All the songs here, there's rock, but it's very low key. It's not in your face like Electric was, where you heard like that thumping guitar and drum. It still rocks, but it's very subtle. It's more that Billy Duffy is trying to paint an atmosphere to match Asbury's poetic side, and that's the only way I can wrap it around my head. It's an artist who's getting the music to his words. And again, like I said, this is the most, I think these guys after 40 years are very confident in their abilities, that they're comfortable merging their beginnings of their goth rock or post-punk kind of sound with the rock element, but yet it's firmly into now. It's very modern. So again, it's a good album. But I think some fans, like I said, who are into Sonic Temple and Electric, that thought that was the best period of their career, may have a hard time with this album. It is very subtle. It rocks, but it's not in your face rock. It's painting a picture. It's creating an atmosphere. It's an atmospheric kind of record. And that's the way I'm going to say it. So it's basically The Cult taking their sounds, their multiple different sounds, their sonic way of doing things, bring it into a new format, or a more comfortable format where they're able to put the two together. And hopefully that makes sense for you. What I liked, probably, the song "Give Me Mercy." And what else did I like a lot? The title track, obviously, like I said, is very cinematic. And then there is Outer Heaven. Very It's a great song and should be in everybody's playlist if you like the Cult. Like again, it's a very, I guess they want to say, it's about the music, and like there's no picture of the band, there's no lyrics. It's literally, here it is, listen to the music. And I guess what they want, that's the thing they want you to do, to pay attention to the music. I think they're very, very, this is an album that they want you to really pay attention to the music. So all in all, it's a good album. If you like the Cult being a little bit more experimental in a sense, and that's all I can say. It's the Cult being, refusing to be pigeonholed again, which is great in a way. But again, if you're strictly into them with the raunching guitars, you may not like this album. But if you like the Cult, who are willing to expand their palette, take their sonic sensibilities they have for the last 40, and bring it forward to now, into this brand new version of it. If you can deal with that, there's a lot to enjoy in this album. And I think the more I'm listening to it now, the more I really like it. Like the first time I heard it, I was, now it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm getting it. It's a grower. This is what I'm saying. All in all, it's still a good album. These guys, show that they're not going to rest on their laurels anytime soon. So that's the great thing about the Cult. There's always something to look forward to, and that you never know what you're going to get, because these two guys, Billy Duffy and Ian Asbury, are very different guys, and technically they're so different. This should not work. They should not have lasted as long. That's why I see these guys take years apart from each other. It must take a lot to really work and get in sync with each other when you're that different. But that's what makes them interesting, is that yin and yang effect of these two guys, But I think this one, they're kind of on the same page, and this is probably the closest they've been on the same page in a long time. So in that sense, the synergy is there. It may not be the Cult album you're looking for, but it's a good Cult album in a sense that you're getting something different and new in a sense. All right, so this is Stephen from the Roundtable. I recommend the album if you're willing to take a gamble on them. Okay, but let me know what you think. What are your favorite tracks? Do you like this album? What are your favorite Cult songs or albums in general? Love to hear from you. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.